Hi friends. So today my topic is inspection is not quality. Today is Friday the 4th of October 2024. So you might be thinking, isn't inspection the main thing you quality guys and gals do? And the answer to that is no. Now, we do maybe some pre-delivery final sanity checks on things before they go out. If something is really high stakes or high value, it does make sense to do just like one last look over before it goes. And a good example of this is if you're sending a rocket to the moon, you might want to do a walk around before you put the astronauts on board. And just an aside, if anybody from NASA or SpaceX is watching and you need an astronaut, give me a call. I have aircrew experience. I'm ready to go. So, what does inspection in place of quality look like? So, imagine a factory where there's three workstations. Workstation 1 is where the parts are pulled and put into a bin and then sent to Workstation 2. Workstation 2 is where they assemble the parts into a product and then ship it to Workstation 3. And Workstation 3 is where they make a decision, either accept or reject. If they accept it, they send it to the customer. If they reject it, then it just gets recycled. And there's no other options. So let's say the worker at Station 1's named Gilligan. So Gilligan is out there, he's pulling parts, he's getting orders like crazy, and he'll put the parts in the bin and he'll just grab a handful, and maybe he gets too many or too few, but quality is not his problem because there's an inspection at the end. And so he puts this in the bin and sends it off to Ginger, who works Station 2, and he's doing this all day and he's happy. And he takes his break, he has a coconut cream pie, and his boss, Skipper, comes along and says, "Hey, little buddy, you're doing a great job of getting those bins out." And then it goes to Ginger, and then she gets all the stuff in, and then she assembles the parts. And if she gets too many parts, she'll just put it in a pile over here. And if she gets too few, she'll just look in the pile and see if there's something that fits. And if it's the wrong part, she'll just make it fit together, and she's not too worried about it because quality is not her responsibility. That's Marianne in Station 3. So Marianne Ginger ships it off to Marianne at Station 3, and Marianne's looking at it, and she sees it and she goes, "Okay, this one's good, this one's bad." And she makes this determination, and she is really happy with her job because Skipper comes by and says, "Marianne, you're doing a great job, and I know that you're productive because you've been rejecting about a third of the products. So keep it up, and you're doing great work for the customer." So this is what it looks like. So back to you're rejecting a third of the products, whatever that does to the bottom line. So inspection is not quality. So there is or was an industrial engineer, an influential one named W. Edwards Deming, and he was a really interesting guy, a real Renaissance man. In addition to industrial engineering work, he worked in economics, mathematics, business theory, and even published music. He was awarded the Order of the Sacred Treasure by the government of Japan for his work in what they call the Japanese economic miracle after World War II, because he was training his Japanese counterparts how to do statistical process control, which greatly improved their product quality output. So he had... in the 1980s, Deming was about 81 years old when Ford Motor Company called him to help them with their quality issues. And so he had sort of a second career in industrial engineering late in life. And he published a few books. One of them is called Out of the Crisis. and he has his famous Deming's 14 points. I'm only going to talk about one of them, which was cease dependence on inspection to achieve quality. Friends, I tried to find this book at my library, but they didn't have it. But you can find all this information at deming.org online. He had a quote in there: "You cannot inspect quality into a product." Now, Deming actually did say this. However, he attributes this quote to Harold F. Dodge, who was an even earlier industrial engineer. So that quote, "You cannot inspect quality into a product," is a mantra for any good quality engineer, and it bears true in practice. If you know anything about lean and value stream mapping, you know that there's things you do to a product that add value to it. You can transport it, you can do processing on it, you can put it in packaging, but inspection does not add value to the product. It doesn't change the product. If you have a non-conforming product, looking at it does not make it more useful to your customer. So what it can do, however, is give you information about the process. So instead of doing what Mary Ann does and just sorting out the good from the bad and recycling the bad and shipping the good, what if you took that information and used it to improve the process? And then the next time around, you find fewer defects pre-delivery, but you still have some defects. Do it again, and you'll have fewer defects still, and then do it again. And then you have so few defects, and Mary Ann doesn't have a job anymore. She gets laid off. Well, ideally, she would be put to work doing real quality improvement. And personally, I'm not worried. I think there is still a future for quality engineers out there, because, you know, even though these ideas, the modern ideas of Deming and Harold Dodge, have been around for over 100 years, my friends. And there's still people thinking that you can inspect quality into a product. So yes, quality engineering has a future. We're not working ourselves out of a job. Thank you very much.